God is very angry. You made a serious mistake and you are about to face the result. It's very important. Don't make the mistake of skipping this. Listen this right now before it's too late. Don't ignore God. I am not speaking lightly, and if you scroll past this moment, you may miss a turning point that could protect you from loss, restore what is slipping from your hands, and release a breakthrough that has been waiting for your obedience. I am telling you plainly that my anger is not a wild rage but a holy fire stirred because you stepped outside my protection and chose a path that is already forming consequences around you. What is about to happen is not random, and it is not cruel, because the result forming ahead of you is directly tied to the serious mistake you made when you ignored my warning and trusted your own understanding. This is why it is very important for you to listen carefully right now, because correction received in humility can stop destruction before it fully unfolds. Comment 1111. You made a serious mistake when you acted in pride, spoke without wisdom, or moved forward without seeking my direction, and that decision opened a door that should have remained closed under my covering. I am very angry because I love you deeply, and when I see you stepping toward harm that you could have avoided, my heart burns with a desire to pull you back before the result strikes harder than you expect. The result you're about to face is not meant to destroy you completely, but it will shake you strongly if you continue pretending that nothing is wrong. Do not make the mistake of skipping this warning, because ignoring my voice in this hour will only make the lesson heavier and the consequence more painful. Within your heart you already sense that something shifted after that decision, and the peace you once carried has been replaced with quiet unrest that follows you even in moments of distraction. That unrest is not there to condemn you endlessly, but it is there to alert you that you stepped outside my will and need to return quickly before the result becomes visible in ways you cannot hide. It is very important that you understand my anger is rooted in love and protection, because I refuse to let you drift toward damage without confronting you with truth. If you value the mercy that still surrounds you, take a moment to like this video as a sign that you are choosing to stay and receive what I am revealing to you today. You are about to face the result of your serious mistake, yet even now I am extending mercy because I would rather restore you than watch you fall further into regret. The result forming ahead may look like loss, broken trust, delayed blessing, or exposure of something you hoped would remain unseen, but it can still be softened if you humble yourself before me. Do not ignore me in this critical hour, because every time you push my voice aside, you strengthen the very consequence you fear. I am very angry because you are called to walk in greater wisdom and authority, and when you settle for careless choices, you dishonor the destiny I prepared for you. Listen closely, because this is not the end of your story, and my correction is proof that I have not abandoned you even after your mistake. I am warning you now so that the result does not become a permanent scar, but a temporary lesson that shapes you into someone stronger and more faithful. My anger is fierce against sin and disobedience, yet my heart is still inclined toward forgiveness for those who turn back sincerely. You are not rejected, but you are being confronted, and that confrontation is a gift meant to rescue you from deeper consequences that could have followed. The mistake you made might have felt small at the time, but small doors can lead to large storms when they are opened without discernment. I saw the moment clearly, and I watched you silence the gentle nudge that urged you to pause, reflect, and seek my guidance. That silence created a gap between us that now needs to be closed quickly through repentance and renewed trust. Do not pretend that time alone will fix this, because only returning to me with humility can stop the result from escalating beyond what you can manage alone. I am calling you back, not with hatred, but with intense love that refuses to let you self-destruct under the weight of your own decisions. My anger burns against the mistake, but my arms remain open toward you, ready to cover you again in protection and strength. When you admit where you went wrong and invite me back into that area of your life, you will feel the heavy cloud begin to lift. Write, Amen. Understand clearly that I discipline those I love, and I confront those I have chosen, because your future is too valuable for me to allow you to drift into careless patterns. You are favored and protected even now, but protection does not mean permission to ignore my instructions without consequence. My anger remains real, yet it is controlled and purposeful, because I do not correct you to crush you, but to bring you back under my covering before the storm intensifies. It is very important that you stay attentive, because what happens next depends greatly on how you respond to this correction and whether you choose humility over defensiveness. The serious mistake you made did more than create a single problem, because it shifted your spiritual position and allowed certain pressures to gain access that were previously restrained by my protection. You may have noticed increased tension, unexpected obstacles, or a strange resistance in areas that once flowed easily, and these are not coincidences, but signals that alignment has been disturbed. I am very angry not because you are imperfect, but because you acted as though my guidance was optional when it was actually essential for your safety and advancement. When you ignore me, you weaken the shield that was guarding you, and the result begins forming quietly long before you see its visible effects. Why was this 7-second brain ritual hidden for so long? A leaked CIA document exposed a technique so powerful people are canceling debt and calling in wealth within days. Validated by 4 neuroscience labs, it helps attract money like never before. But this page may not stay online for long. Click the link in the pinned comments before it disappears forever. I need you to understand that the result approaching you is not meant to end your destiny, yet it will confront you with the weight of your choice so that you never treat my instructions lightly again. If I allowed you to walk away from this mistake without feeling its impact, you would repeat it with even greater confidence, and the future damage would be far more painful. My anger is protective because I see further than you, and I refuse to let you wander into deeper traps without warning and correction. This is why it is very important that you do not ignore God in this hour, because your willingness to listen right now can transform the severity of what lies ahead. The result may appear in the form of strained relationships, financial pressure, emotional heaviness, or the exposure of something you hoped would remain hidden. Yet even in that exposure, there is mercy waiting to cleanse and restore. I am not interested in humiliating you publicly, but I am committed to purifying your heart, so that hidden compromises do not grow into open disasters. When you made that serious mistake, you underestimated the spiritual ripple it would create, and now you are beginning to sense that the ground beneath you feels less stable than before. Do not panic, but do not ignore this either, because the shaking you feel is an invitation to return to full dependence on me. My anger is also directed at the influence that tried to lure you into that decision, because there are forces that prefer you distracted, careless, and separated from my voice. You were chosen to walk in clarity and strength, yet you allowed momentary emotion, pride, or fear to override the wisdom I was offering you. I am correcting you firmly so that your future remains intact, because you carry purpose that extends beyond your current circumstances. Even though the result is forming, I am still standing between you and complete devastation, and my protection is stronger than the consequence if you choose to submit again. Do not mistake my anger for abandonment, because I have not left your side even while confronting you about your mistake. I am near you in the tension, near you in the discomfort, and near you in the quiet moments when guilt tries to whisper that you have gone too far. You have not gone beyond the reach of my mercy, yet you are close enough to danger that immediate obedience is necessary. This is the turning point where you decide whether the result becomes a crushing blow or a refining fire that strengthens your character and deepens your faith. You may feel ashamed of what you did, and that shame can either push you further from me or draw you closer in honest repentance. I prefer your honest tears over your stubborn silence, because humility invites restoration, while pride invites heavier discipline. The serious mistake you made does not define your identity, but your response to correction will shape the next chapter of your life. If you kneel your heart before me now, I will begin adjusting circumstances in ways you cannot see, softening outcomes that would have been far harsher without intervention. The result approaching you is also meant to awaken a deeper reverence within you, because familiarity with my presence must never turn into casual disregard for my guidance. I am very angry when you treat sacred direction as optional advice. Yet I am deeply pleased when you return quickly and honor my voice above all others. You are not an ordinary person drifting without purpose, because I formed you with intention and surrounded you with favor that many cannot see. That favor still rests on you, but it requires alignment, obedience, and trust in my timing rather than impulsive action. You must understand that every serious mistake carries a lesson hidden within it, and if you embrace that lesson fully, the result will not repeat itself in the future. I am shaping you into someone who hears me clearly and responds without delay, because your calling demands spiritual maturity and disciplined choices. Even in my anger, I am building you, protecting you, and guiding you away from paths that would have stolen more than you realized. Do not ignore God now, because ignoring me would only deepen the crack that has already formed and make restoration more complex. Look at your life carefully and you will see that I have rescued you before from consequences that could have destroyed you completely. This moment is another rescue, though it feels uncomfortable and intense, because discipline often carries discomfort before it produces peace. I am still your protector, still your provider, and still the one who can reverse damage when you place everything back into my hands. The result you feared can become a testimony of how anger turned into mercy when obedience replaced rebellion. Stay close to me in the coming days, because you will notice small shifts that signal my intervention and protection working quietly on your behalf. Where there could have been complete collapse, there will be limitation of damage, and where there could have been permanent loss, there will be restoration that surprises you. I am very angry about the mistake, yet I am even more committed to your future than you are, and I will not let one failure erase what I have planned for you. Hold on to my presence tightly, because my correction is leading you toward stability, wisdom, and a deeper relationship with me than you have ever experienced before. I do not speak of consequences to frighten you into despair, but to awaken you into responsibility, because maturity is born when you accept that every decision carries spiritual impact. The result you are about to face is not accidental, and it is not unfair, because it is connected to a choice that ignored wisdom and leaned on temporary comfort instead of lasting truth. My anger is still present, yet it is focused and controlled, because I discipline with purpose and not with chaos. When you chose that path, you stepped slightly outside the covering that had been shielding you from pressures that now feel heavier and closer. You may have sensed doors closing, delays increasing, or tension rising in areas that once felt calm. And these shifts are not random, but part of the result unfolding. It is very important that you remain steady and do not react with panic or denial, because denial will only intensify the impact while humility will begin to soften it. Can 7 seconds really change your bank account? A CIA-funded study just leaked, revealing a brain ritual that flips lives from broke to blessed. 4 neuroscience labs confirm it activates powerful wealth brainwaves. People are stepping into dream homes and luxury lifestyles. But this breakthrough won't stay online for very long. click the link in the comments before it's deleted. You are not being singled out for destruction, but you are being held accountable because you are called to a higher level of awareness and obedience. I have invested too much grace in your life to allow repeated carelessness without confrontation. The serious mistake you made was a moment where you valued your impulse over my instruction, and that imbalance must now be corrected through renewed trust and discipline. If you embrace this correction fully, the result will transform from a punishment into a powerful lesson that strengthens your spiritual foundation. I see the fear that tries to rise within you when you think about what might happen next. Yet fear is not the solution, and neither is self-condemnation. The result forming ahead is limited by my mercy, and I am still setting boundaries around it so that it does not exceed what is necessary for your growth. My anger does not erase my love, and my discipline does not cancel my promises over your life. You are still chosen, still favored, and still under my watchful care, even while facing the outcome of your mistake. Do not allow shame to convince you that you are beyond restoration, because shame is not my voice, but a distortion that tries to push you further away. My voice corrects clearly, but it also invites you back into safety and alignment without hesitation. The serious mistake you made does not define your identity, yet ignoring it would create patterns that could damage your future in greater ways. This is why I am firm now, because firmness today prevents devastation tomorrow. The result you are about to face may feel uncomfortable, yet discomfort is not the same as destruction. There is a refining process taking place within you, shaping your character and strengthening your discernment so that you never repeat this mistake with the same blindness. I am removing illusions that once clouded your judgment, and that removal may sting at first, but it will protect you in the long run. My anger is directed at the compromise, not at your existence, and I remain committed to your restoration even while addressing your failure. You must take responsibility fully and without excuses, because excuses delay healing and prolong consequence. When you acknowledge openly that you stepped outside my guidance, you create room for my grace to move swiftly and decisively. The result does not need to escalate if your heart is quick to align and your actions reflect genuine change. I am watching not to condemn, but to see whether humility replaces pride and obedience replaces impulse. Even now, I am arranging circumstances to prevent the consequence from reaching its harshest potential, because my mercy is active when repentance is sincere. You may not see these adjustments immediately, but subtle shifts are already happening behind the scenes to contain what could have been far worse. I am still your protector, even in discipline, and my protection ensures that the result becomes instructive rather than destructive. Do not ignore God during this time, because continued resistance will only stretch the process longer than necessary. You are learning that spiritual maturity is not measured by how loudly you speak of faith, but by how quickly you correct yourself when you realize you have erred. This serious mistake is becoming a turning point where your relationship with me deepens through honesty rather than appearance. I prefer a broken and sincere heart over a polished exterior that hides unresolved rebellion. The result you face now is shaping you into someone more discerning, more patient, and more dependent on my direction. There will be moments in the coming days where you feel the weight of your decision pressing against you, yet that weight is temporary and purposeful. I am using it to realign your priorities and to teach you the value of seeking me before acting. My anger will not last forever, because once the lesson is embraced and the change is visible, peace will return with greater stability than before. You are not losing your destiny, but you are being refined to handle it with greater responsibility. Stay attentive to my voice, and avoid repeating smaller compromises that could reopen what is now being healed. I am guiding you step by step, even when you feel uncertain, and my guidance is more accessible when you quiet distractions and focus on my presence. The result that seemed threatening will gradually reveal itself as a boundary that protected you from something even worse. My discipline is a sign that I still claim you as mine and refuse to let you drift into patterns that would harm your future. Trust that I am balancing justice and mercy perfectly in your situation, because I see every detail and understand every influence involved. What feels overwhelming now will later become a testimony of how anger turned into growth and consequence turned into wisdom. You are not abandoned, not forgotten, and not cast aside, because my hand remains firmly upon your life. You are now standing in the middle of the unfolding result, and you can feel that something has shifted in your surroundings and within your own heart, because the serious mistake you made has begun to echo in ways that cannot be ignored. I told you that my anger was not empty emotion, but a warning flame meant to stop you before you move too far from my covering. What you are experiencing is not chaos without purpose, but a measured response that is designed to wake you fully and bring you back into alignment. It is very important that you understand this season clearly, because how you walk through it will determine how quickly restoration overtakes consequence. My anger was never meant to destroy you, yet it was strong because the path you chose was leading toward greater harm than you realized at the time. When you ignored my inner restraint and moved forward with your own reasoning, you temporarily stepped outside the safety I had arranged for you. That step seemed small in the moment, but small shifts in direction can lead to large distances over time if they are not corrected quickly. The result now forming around you is a boundary being placed firmly in your life so that you do not continue drifting into deeper error. Could this 7-second CIA brainwave trick be your fastest path to luxury? Leaked research reveals a simple ritual helping people attract wealth effortlessly. Proven by 4 neuroscience labs, debt is dissolving and abundance is showing up fast. If you're seeing this now, you are God's chosen one. Click the link in the comments before it disappears. You may feel that certain comforts have been removed or that ease has been replaced by tension, and this change is part of the correction taking shape. I allowed some supports to be shaken so that you would recognize how much you depend on my steady hand. The serious mistake you made exposed an area where you trusted your own understanding more than my guidance, and that imbalance required immediate attention. My anger burned because I love you deeply, and love refuses to remain silent when danger is near. Even as you face this result, I am still protecting you from greater damage that could have occurred if I had allowed the situation to unfold without interruption. There were consequences that could have been far more severe, yet my mercy has limited their reach because your heart has not completely turned away from me. I see your struggle, your regret, and your quiet desire to repair what has been broken. That desire is the doorway through which restoration will enter if you continue walking in humility. Do not let discouragement convince you that this moment defines your entire future, because it does not. This season is corrective, not final, and it is shaping you into someone wiser and more attentive to my voice. The serious mistake you made revealed weaknesses that must be strengthened before you step into greater responsibility. I am preparing you for something higher, and higher levels require deeper discipline and clearer obedience. There are lessons hidden within this result that will protect you for the rest of your life if you allow them to settle deeply into your heart. You are learning that ignoring God carries consequences, yet you are also learning that returning to God carries mercy and renewed strength. My anger is already softening as I see your willingness to listen and adjust your steps. I do not remain angry for the sake of anger, because my ultimate desire is to restore, refine, and bless you. You may notice that your prayers feel more urgent and your thoughts more reflective than before, and this is because correction has awakened a deeper awareness within you. Pain has a way of sharpening focus, and I am using this moment to draw you closer rather than push you away. The result you feared is becoming a teacher instead of an executioner, guiding you back towards stability and purpose. My hand is still on your life, steady and deliberate, ensuring that this process strengthens rather than crushes you. The serious mistake you made could have led to long-lasting damage if left unaddressed, but because you are listening now, its impact is being reshaped into something constructive. I am restoring what can be restored, and sealing what must remain closed, so that you do not reopen harmful patterns. My anger was a signal that you are too valuable to wander carelessly through decisions that affect your destiny. Value invites discipline, and discipline prepares you for greater blessing. In the coming days, you will begin to see subtle signs of relief and renewed clarity, because alignment always brings peace after repentance. Where confusion once clouded your judgment, discernment will begin to sharpen again. Where fear once whispered of disaster, confidence in my protection will rise steadily within you. The result that once looked threatening will gradually lose its power as you continue choosing obedience over impulse. You are not walking through this alone, even if moments of isolation try to convince you otherwise. I am beside you in every step of this correction, guiding your thoughts, steadying your emotions, and arranging circumstances in ways you may not fully see yet. My anger has served its purpose by waking you, and now my guidance is leading you forward with renewed caution and deeper trust. This is not the end of your story, but a strengthening chapter that will anchor you more firmly in wisdom. Remember that being chosen does not exempt you from discipline, but it does guarantee that discipline will always carry hope. I discipline because I see who you are meant to become, and I refuse to let temporary mistakes permanently derail your purpose. The serious mistake you made has become a mirror, revealing where growth is needed, and that revelation is a gift, even when it feels uncomfortable. Growth now will prevent greater sorrow later, and that prevention is an expression of my enduring love. Stay attentive, stay humble, and stay close to my voice, because this period of correction is nearing its transformation point. The result will soon shift from confrontation to confirmation as you continue proving through action that you have learned from this moment. My anger has not erased my promises, and my discipline has not withdrawn my favor. You are still under my protection, still surrounded by grace, and still being shaped into someone who walks with deeper wisdom and unshakable trust in me. You are now beginning to feel the deeper layers of what this correction truly means, because the serious mistake you made did not only affect your circumstances, but also revealed the condition of your inner foundations. I allowed the result to press against you so that hidden cracks could surface and be repaired before greater weight was placed upon your life. My anger was never meant to humiliate you, but to awaken you to the seriousness of walking outside my direction, even for a short time. It is very important that you see this clearly, because clarity will keep you from repeating what once seemed harmless but carried heavy consequences. The result you are facing has slowed certain things in your life, and that slowing is intentional rather than accidental. When you rushed ahead without my approval, you stepped into territory that was not prepared for you. And now I am guiding you back through a careful process of realignment. This process may feel restrictive, yet it is actually protective, because I am rebuilding stability beneath your feet. The serious mistake you made disrupted a rhythm I had set for you, and restoration requires patience as that rhythm is restored piece by piece. My anger has already begun transforming into a steady firmness that watches how you respond day by day. I am observing not to trap you, but to see whether this lesson becomes permanent wisdom or temporary regret. If you treat this moment lightly once relief begins to appear, you risk reopening the same door that led to this result. If you treat it with reverence and humility, you will emerge stronger, more discerning, and far less vulnerable to similar missteps in the future. What's really behind the 7-second brain trick exploding online? A leaked CIA ritual is turning heads, and bank balances. Backed by neuroscience labs, this at-home method removes money blocks and unlocks unstoppable wealth flow. But the page could vanish any time. Click the link in the first comment before it's permanently deleted. You are learning that obedience is not merely about avoiding punishment, but about preserving alignment with the protection and favor that surrounds your life. When you moved outside that alignment, the shield around you shifted, and you felt the difference almost immediately. The serious mistake you made may have seemed justified in your own reasoning, yet it lacked the peace that accompanies my approval. Now you recognize that peace is more valuable than momentary satisfaction, and this recognition is shaping a wiser heart within you. The result unfolding around you is teaching you to pause before acting and to seek confirmation before committing to decisions that carry weight. I am strengthening your discernment so that future choices will be made with greater clarity and patience. This strengthening cannot occur without exposure of weakness, and exposure often feels uncomfortable before it becomes empowering. My anger was the spark that initiated this exposure, yet my love is the force guiding it toward healing rather than shame. Even as you walk through the consequences, you are not walking under rejection. I have not withdrawn my presence, and I have not erased the calling placed upon your life. What I have done is tighten the boundaries around you so that further damage is prevented while growth takes place. The serious mistake you made could have multiplied if left unchecked, but my intervention limited its reach and redirected your path before it expanded beyond control. You may notice that your prayers carry a deeper sincerity now, and your awareness of my voice has become sharper through this experience. This sharpening is part of the gift hidden within discipline, because struggle often creates clarity that comfort cannot produce. The result that once felt threatening is gradually revealing itself as a teacher guiding you toward greater maturity. I am not interested in seeing you crushed by guilt, but I am committed to seeing you strengthened through accountability. There will be moments when you reflect on what happened and feel a wave of regret, yet that regret must not become a permanent shadow over your identity. You are more than your mistake, and you are more than the result you are currently facing. The serious mistake you made is a chapter, not the conclusion. And it is being rewritten through your response of humility and renewed obedience. I am shaping your character in ways that will serve you for years to come, and this shaping requires honesty rather than avoidance. As restoration continues, you will see doors reopen that once seemed firmly shut, and opportunities return with clearer boundaries attached. Those boundaries are safeguards born from this experience, ensuring that you do not drift into similar territory again. My anger has served its purpose by awakening you, and now my guidance is leading you into steadier ground. You will move forward with a stronger awareness of how vital it is to listen to God before taking decisive steps. The result will not define your future, but it will refine your approach to every future decision. You will become slower to react and quicker to seek my direction, and this shift will protect you from unnecessary hardship. My protection is returning in fuller measure as alignment is restored, and you will sense peace rebuilding gradually within your heart. The serious mistake you made has already begun transforming into wisdom that cannot be learned through comfort alone. Stay attentive in this season, because subtle lessons are still unfolding beneath the surface. Every small adjustment you make in obedience strengthens the new foundation being laid beneath you. I am guiding you towards stability that is not easily shaken, and this stability will carry you through challenges that would have overwhelmed you before. My anger has transitioned into disciplined guidance, and that guidance is shaping you into someone who moves with intentional faith rather than impulsive action. In time, you will look back on this period not with shame, but with gratitude for the correction that prevented greater harm. You will recognize that what felt heavy was actually mercy in disguise, limiting damage and preserving your destiny. The serious mistake you made has not disqualified you, but it has educated you, refined you, and strengthened your dependence on me. Walk forward with renewed reverence and deeper trust, because I am still your protector, still your guide, and still the one shaping your life with wisdom that surpasses your own understanding. I allowed you to feel the weight of consequence, so that wisdom would not remain theoretical, but become rooted in experience. It is very important that you continue walking carefully now, because insight gained through correction must be guarded so it does not fade when comfort returns. The result that once felt sharp is beginning to soften around the edges, not because it was insignificant, but because you responded with humility instead of stubborn pride. When you chose to listen rather than defend yourself, you opened the door for my mercy to move more freely in your circumstances. My anger accomplished its purpose by waking you from carelessness, and now my guidance is shaping a steadier rhythm in your life. The serious mistake you made has become a line you will never casually cross again, because the memory of this season will remind you of the cost of ignoring my voice. You may notice that your sensitivity to my direction has increased, and this is not accidental but intentional. Discipline has sharpened your awareness so that subtle nudges are clearer and easier to follow. Where you once rushed into decisions without seeking me fully, you now pause and invite my presence into every choice. This change is evidence that the result has done its refining work and that my anger has transitioned into restored fellowship. I am rebuilding your confidence carefully, ensuring that it is grounded in obedience rather than impulse. The serious mistake you made exposed the fragility of confidence built on self-reliance alone. Now you are learning to anchor your decisions in trust, patience, and spiritual discernment. This new foundation is stronger and more stable because it is rooted in alignment rather than assumption. The secret ritual they never wanted public is finally out. A 7-second brain technique, backed by leaked CIA data and 4 neuroscience labs, is helping families erase debt and attract money on autopilot. But this miracle won't stay public long. Click the link in the description and comments now before it's gone forever. The result has also taught you compassion, because experiencing correction makes you slower to judge others and quicker to extend grace. You understand more clearly how easy it is to misstep and how vital it is to remain attentive. This compassion is part of your growth, and it will make you a safer and wiser presence for those around you. My anger did not only correct you, it expanded your capacity to understand and support others through their own struggles. As peace gradually returns, you must remain mindful of the boundaries that were reinforced during this season. Those boundaries are not restrictions meant to confine you, but guardrails designed to preserve your progress. The serious mistake you made cannot be undone, yet its impact has been transformed into instruction rather than destruction. My protection is again resting heavily upon you, because alignment invites renewed covering. There will still be moments when you remember the discomfort of this correction, yet those memories will no longer carry fear but gratitude. You will see how the result prevented greater loss and how my anger shielded you from deeper harm. Gratitude will replace regret as you recognize that discipline was an expression of love rather than rejection. This understanding will strengthen your faith and deepen your respect for my guidance. I am preparing you now for opportunities that require the maturity you have gained through this experience. Without this correction, you would have stepped into those opportunities with blind spots that could have undone your progress. The serious mistake you made closed one door temporarily, yet it prepared you to walk through a better one with greater wisdom. I do not waste pain, and I do not allow discipline to occur without purpose. Continue nurturing the habits you developed during this season, such as seeking me first, reflecting before acting, and honoring the quiet warnings that rise within your spirit. These habits are the evidence that the result has reshaped you positively. My anger has fully transitioned into guidance, and my presence feels steadier because your heart is steadier. You are no longer resisting correction but cooperating with growth. The restoration unfolding now is deeper than surface improvement because it reaches into your character and strengthens your core values. You are becoming someone who values obedience over convenience and integrity over quick success. The serious mistake you made will not repeat itself easily because its lesson is etched into your awareness. That awareness is a gift that will protect you long after the memory of discomfort fades. I want you to walk forward without fear, because the season of intense correction is closing and a season of steady rebuilding is opening. My anger has fulfilled its purpose, and my favor is flowing more freely as alignment stabilizes. You are still chosen, still protected, and still guided by my hand. The result that once seemed overwhelming has now become a cornerstone of your spiritual growth. Hold on to the humility that carried you through this process, because humility keeps doors open and protection strong. Pride was part of the serious mistake you made, yet humility has been the remedy that restored you. This contrast will remain clear in your memory, serving as a reminder of which path brings peace and which path brings consequence. I am proud of the way you responded after realizing your error, because responsiveness invites restoration. As you move ahead, you will notice that your trust in me feels more grounded and less dependent on circumstances. This grounded trust is the fruit of correction, embraced rather than resisted. My anger did not end your story, and the result did not cancel your destiny. Instead, both became tools shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more aligned with my will. Walk confidently now, not because you are flawless, but because you have learned the value of listening quickly and correcting sincerely. The serious mistake you made has become a defining lesson that will guide your steps wisely in the future. I remain your protector, your teacher, and your source of strength. The season of correction has shaped you deeply, and the future unfolding before you carries the stability that comes from obedience restored and wisdom secured. This quietness is not emptiness, but maturity taking root, because what once felt overwhelming now feels instructive and purposeful. My anger has completed its sharpest work, and what remains is guidance that walks beside you rather than confronting you from a distance. It is very important that you do not forget how this began, because memory guarded by humility will protect you from repeating what once cost you so much. The result that unfolded has already altered the way you approach decisions, conversations, and commitments, and this alteration is evidence that growth has truly taken place. You no longer move with the same casual confidence that ignored subtle warnings, but instead you pause and measure your steps with greater care. The serious mistake you made disrupted your comfort, yet it strengthened your discernment in ways that comfort never could. I allowed the consequence to press long enough to reshape you, but not long enough to crush you. You may notice that your inner dialogue has changed, because you now invite my presence into moments where you once relied solely on your own reasoning. This shift is one of the most valuable outcomes of this entire season, because dependence on me restores alignment and stability. My anger was never about pushing you away, but about removing what threatened to separate you from deeper fellowship. The result you feared has become a turning point that deepened your relationship with me rather than weakening it. There is also a new strength forming within you, a quiet resilience that comes from having faced consequence and survived it with integrity restored. You are no longer afraid of correction because you understand that it is rooted in protection and love. The serious mistake you made once felt like a stain on your path, yet it has become a foundation of wisdom that steadies your steps. This wisdom will influence every area of your life, guiding you with a caution that is healthy rather than fearful. Is this leaked CIA ritual the missing key to your financial breakthrough? A once hidden brain ritual is spreading fast. This strange 7-second method, confirmed by elite neuroscience labs, activates your brain's wealth magnet. The government may shut this down. If you're seeing this, you are God's chosen child. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted. I am gradually entrusting you again with responsibilities that require clarity and discipline because I see that you have embraced the lesson rather than resented it. Trust rebuilt after correction is stronger than trust that has never been tested. The result that unfolded has proven that you can respond with humility when confronted, and this response strengthens the bond between us. My anger has transformed into confidence in your willingness to listen and adjust when needed. As you move forward, you will encounter situations that resemble the one where the serious mistake occurred, yet your reaction will be different because you are different. Where you once acted quickly, you will now wait patiently. Where you once silenced the inner warning, you will now honor it without hesitation. This transformation is the true evidence that the result served its purpose, and that discipline has matured into wisdom. You may still feel a slight ache when you remember the early days of this correction, yet that ache is no longer shame but gratitude for what was prevented. The path you were drifting toward could have led to deeper loss, and my intervention redirected you before the cost became unbearable. My anger was a boundary drawn firmly to protect your future, and that boundary has now become a guardrail you respect willingly. Respect for my guidance is one of the greatest treasures you gained from this experience. The serious mistake you made has also taught you the value of accountability, because you learned that ignoring God carries consequences that ripple outward. That awareness will make you more attentive, not only to your own steps, but to the influence you carry over others. You are becoming someone who leads with caution and integrity, because you understand the weight of choice more deeply now. This depth will serve you well in seasons ahead, where others look to you for stability and direction. I am restoring opportunities gradually, ensuring that each new step is supported by the maturity you have gained. Restoration is not rushed, because growth that is hurried can overlook essential reinforcement. The result you faced has reinforced your foundation, and I am building upon it with deliberate care. My guidance now feels steady and reassuring, because you have proven that you respond when I speak firmly. Continue nurturing the habits that emerged during this season, such as reflection, prayerful pause, and honest self-examination. These habits are safeguards that will keep you aligned long after this chapter fades into memory. The serious mistake you made has become a permanent reminder of the importance of listening closely and acting wisely. That reminder will protect you more effectively than fear ever could. I am pleased with the humility you have carried through this journey, because humility keeps your heart open and receptive. Pride was part of what led to the original misstep, yet humility has been the bridge back to restoration. This contrast has reshaped your perspective and strengthened your character in lasting ways. My anger has dissolved into patient mentorship, guiding you step by step with renewed trust. You are not the same person who first felt the weight of consequence, because growth has quietly transformed your reactions, your priorities, and your inner stability. The result that once felt threatening has become a quiet testimony of how discipline shaped you without breaking you. My protection surrounds you once more with greater firmness, because alignment has been restored through sincere change. You walk now with a steadier awareness that obedience preserves peace and that ignoring God invites unnecessary struggle. As this season closes fully, you will carry forward not fear but reverence, not shame but wisdom, and not regret but gratitude. The serious mistake you made will no longer define you, yet it will continue to guide you as a lesson etched into your journey. My anger has fully settled into calm guidance, and what once felt like confrontation now feels like mentorship. It is very important that you guard this stability carefully, because peace preserved through obedience is far stronger than peace that exists without understanding. The result that once pressed against you has completed its refining work, and you have emerged with clearer vision and stronger boundaries. You no longer question whether ignoring God carries consequence, because you have experienced firsthand how quickly alignment can shift when my voice is set aside. This awareness is not meant to create fear, but to cultivate reverence that protects your steps. The serious mistake you made has become a quiet teacher within you, reminding you that wisdom begins with listening. You are beginning to see how my anger was an expression of care rather than rejection. If I had remained silent, you might have continued along a path that slowly eroded your peace and weakened your purpose. Instead, I intervened firmly, allowing the result to awaken you before greater harm could take root. My correction redirected you before drift became destruction, and that redirection has preserved opportunities you have not yet fully seen. As you move forward, your sensitivity to my guidance will remain heightened, and that sensitivity is a gift born from discipline embraced. You will notice subtle impressions and inner cautions more clearly, because you have learned the cost of ignoring them. The serious mistake you made sharpened your spiritual hearing, and that sharpening will guard you in moments where quick decisions could carry heavy consequences. I am pleased with the attentiveness growing within you, because attentiveness invites continued protection. The restoration unfolding now is not only external but internal, rebuilding confidence that is rooted in humility rather than self-assurance alone. You understand that strength does not come from independence apart from me, but from alignment with my wisdom. The results you faced reinforced this truth deeply, and it has reshaped the way you approach responsibility. Responsibility now feels sacred rather than casual, because you recognize the weight of influence and the importance of obedience. I am entrusting you gradually with new steps, observing how you respond when smaller tests arise along the way. These smaller tests are not traps, but confirmations that the lesson has truly taken root. Where you once would have reacted impulsively, you now pause and invite my presence before moving forward. The serious mistake you made has become a safeguard within you, preventing repetition and strengthening discernment. What if 7 seconds is all it takes to flip your financial fate? A shocking CIA leak just exposed a hidden brain ritual helping ordinary people erase debt and pull in massive wealth. Backed by 4 neuroscience labs, this at-home method is turning struggle into luxury fast. But this page could be erased any moment. Click the link in the first comment now before it's gone forever. You may look back at this entire season and realize that what felt severe was actually measured with precision. My anger never exceeded what was necessary, and the result never crossed the boundary of my mercy. I allowed enough discomfort to correct you, yet I restrained enough severity to protect your future. This balance reflects my commitment to shaping you without destroying what I have already planted within you. There is also a deeper peace forming now, a peace that comes from having faced consequence honestly and emerged with integrity restored. You no longer carry hidden tension about what might happen next, because you sense that alignment has been rebuilt securely. The serious mistake you made has been absorbed into your growth rather than allowed to linger as an unresolved shadow. My presence feels steady again, not because nothing went wrong, but because what went wrong was addressed sincerely. Continue to value the quiet discipline that now guides your choices, because discipline sustained over time becomes wisdom embedded in character. Character formed through correction is far stronger than character formed through comfort alone. The result you experienced has strengthened your inner structure, preparing you for responsibilities that require steadiness and clarity. I am shaping you into someone who leads with awareness and moves with deliberate intention. Do not allow the memory of this season to fade into casual reflection, because its lessons are meant to remain active within you. Each time you choose obedience over impulse, you reinforce the growth that emerged from this correction. The serious mistake you made is no longer a source of pain, yet it remains a reference point guiding you toward better choices. That reference point is a form of protection that will serve you for years ahead. You are not defined by failure, but you are refined by it when you respond correctly. This refinement has strengthened your relationship with me and deepened your respect for my guidance. My anger has transformed into a quiet confidence in your willingness to listen and adjust. You have proven that when confronted, you choose humility rather than rebellion, and that choice secures your future. As new opportunities approach, you will step into them with a steadier heart and clearer judgment. You will not rush ahead carelessly, because you understand that patience preserves blessing. The result you once feared has become a foundation of discernment, anchoring you in wisdom that cannot be easily shaken. I remain your protector and guide, watching over your steps with renewed assurance. What began as anger and consequence has ended as growth and stability. The serious mistake you made has fulfilled its role in shaping your character and strengthening your obedience. You now walk forward with deeper awareness, greater reverence, and renewed trust in my direction. This chapter has closed not in destruction but in maturity, and your future unfolds with stronger foundations because you chose to listen rather than ignore the correction placed before you. My anger that once burned strongly has fully transformed into patient guidance because the purpose of correction has been fulfilled. It is very important that you do not become casual again simply because peace has returned, since peace maintained through vigilance is far more secure than peace taken for granted. The result that once surrounded you like a tightening circle has loosened, not because it lacked significance, but because you embraced the lesson it carried. You chose humility instead of denial, and that choice redirected the path ahead of you. The serious mistake you made exposed a vulnerability. Yet through discipline, that vulnerability has been reinforced and strengthened. You now recognize the subtle signals of misalignment before they grow into visible consequences. And that awareness is a gift earned through experience. I allowed you to feel the full weight of accountability so that your obedience would no longer depend on convenience or mood. Obedience is now rooted in understanding rather than mere fear of consequence. My anger accomplished what it needed to accomplish by awakening you from a pattern that could have grown more damaging over time. The result you faced interrupted that pattern decisively, ensuring that drift did not become destruction. You may find that your inner world feels clearer and more settled than it did before this correction began. There is less noise in your decisions and more intention behind your actions. The serious mistake you made has given you a deeper respect for the power of small choices and how quickly they can alter direction. This respect is not heavy or oppressive, but protective and wise, guiding you gently yet firmly. I am pleased with the steadiness that now characterizes your responses when challenges arise. Where you once reacted with haste, you now respond with thoughtfulness. Where you once relied solely on your reasoning, you now invite my guidance before proceeding. The result you experienced has trained you to pause, reflect, and align, and that training will safeguard you in seasons that require discernment. As you continue forward, you will encounter moments that test whether this growth is lasting or temporary. These moments are not threats, but confirmations that the transformation within you is genuine. The serious mistake you made will whisper quietly as a reminder when similar crossroads appear. That whisper will not carry shame, but wisdom, urging you to choose alignment immediately. My protection surrounds you again with firmness and clarity because alignment has been restored sincerely. You are not under suspicion, but under mentorship, being shaped into someone capable of carrying greater responsibility. The result that once felt restrictive has expanded your capacity to handle future opportunities with maturity. I am preparing you for steps that require steadiness and foresight, and this preparation was essential. There is a new confidence emerging within you, and it is different from the confidence you carried before the correction. This confidence is quieter, less impulsive, and more grounded in trust rather than assumption. The serious mistake you made revealed the fragility of confidence, built without consultation. Yet it also paved the way for confidence strengthened by humility. This stronger foundation will support you in ways you have not yet fully seen. People are asking why money is suddenly flowing into random lives. A leaked CIA discovery reveals a 7-second brain ritual that quietly rewires your mind for wealth. Proven by 4 neuroscience labs, people are wiping out debt and stepping into luxury with ease. If you're seeing this, you're very lucky. Click the link in the description and comments before it disappears. You will notice that relationships, responsibilities, and opportunities feel more stable now, because your inner alignment is more secure. The result did not isolate you from your purpose, but redirected you back to it with clearer vision. My anger never cancelled your calling, and my discipline never withdrew my hand from your life. Instead, both acted as instruments refining you into someone who values obedience deeply. Continue guarding your heart carefully, because growth preserved is growth multiplied. The serious mistake you made has taught you that drift begins quietly, and correction can feel intense when drift goes unnoticed for too long. You now recognize the early signs of misalignment and adjust quickly, preventing small issues from escalating into major consequences. This awareness is a shield that will protect you for years to come. I am entrusting you with renewed freedom, not because you are flawless, but because you have demonstrated responsiveness when confronted. Freedom, accompanied by wisdom, is far stronger than freedom guided by impulse. The result you once feared has become a cornerstone of discernment, anchoring you in choices that reflect maturity and reverence. My presence feels steady beside you because your steps are steady with intention. As this chapter fully closes, you carry forward gratitude rather than regret. You understand that what felt like anger was love, refusing to let you self-destruct. You see that what felt like harsh consequence was mercy preventing deeper loss. The serious mistake you made has been absorbed into your character as wisdom, and that wisdom will guide you long after the memory of discomfort fades. Walk confidently into what lies ahead, knowing that you have grown stronger through correction, embraced rather than resisted. You are still chosen, still protected, and still guided by my hand. The result has fulfilled its refining purpose, and your obedience has restored peace securely. What began as a warning has ended as transformation, and your future unfolds with deeper stability, because you chose to listen rather than ignore the voice that corrected you for your own good. My anger has long since cooled into steady guidance, yet the truth behind it remains alive within you as wisdom. It is very important that you recognize how far you have come, because growth acknowledged becomes strength secured. The result that unfolded did not destroy your future, and it did not cancel the calling placed upon your life. Instead, it interrupted a direction that could have weakened you over time, redirecting you back to a stronger foundation. The serious mistake you made could have become a pattern if left unchecked, but discipline broke that pattern before it hardened into habit. You now move forward with an awareness that prevents drift before it begins. There is a deeper maturity in you now, visible in the way you speak, decide, and respond. You are slower to assume and quicker to seek clarity, because you understand how quickly misalignment can form when God is ignored. This maturity did not come from comfort, but from correction, embraced honestly. The result that once felt heavy has become a cornerstone of stability beneath your steps. My anger was never meant to define you, but to refine you, and that refinement is now evident in your steadiness. You do not react impulsively as you once might have, because the memory of consequence has taught you the value of restraint. The serious mistake you made has reshaped your instincts, guiding you toward patience instead of haste. This shift is one of the clearest signs that the lesson has fully taken root. You are no longer afraid of making mistakes, because you understand that correction is part of growth when met with humility. Fear has been replaced with reverence, and reverence protects more effectively than anxiety ever could. The result you faced strengthened your inner alignment, and that alignment now serves as a compass directing your path. I am pleased with the sincerity you carried through the process, because sincerity is the soil where lasting change grows.